if I told you that there was 11 psychological weapons that you can use literally today to help you sign more clients, would that be interesting to you? All right, that's literally what I'm going to do in this video. First things first, big disclaimer. So please don't use any of what I'm about to share with you with ill intentions, because these are like truly incredibly powerful tools that can influence people to take action for good or for bad. All right, so I'm going to be sharing these, psychological weapons with you to help influence anyone to take action. Obviously, you can apply this with your business, with social media, and your content, your branding, and your marketing, and your sales. Also in your relationships, in your family life, friends, whatever. So please use this with good intentions. This has taken me 7 years of studying psychology, persuasion, human behavior. I've also invested over $100,000 into my personal education in the marketing, psychology, lead generation space. And you get all this wrapped into one video. So not too bad of a deal, right? So my name is Jack Bly. If you don't know who I am, I built my first coaching business to $107K a month. And I'm sharing a few things I've learned along the way. So let's jump in. The first thing, the first psychological weapon is what we call the influence pyramid. All right, so the influence pyramid right now. What this basically is a pyramid that shows you like what is the most influential aspects of some level of communication. All right, so what this means, all right, first level right here is what? All right, what are you saying? So these words that are coming out of my mouth right now is actually the least influential thing about my communication. It's just what? All right, it still has impact. Absolutely still has impact. That's why there's copywriters nowadays. That's why, if you type certain words or if you say different words, you can have different outcomes. But it's actually the least influential thing about your communication level. All right, and the next most influential thing, the second most influential thing is how. How are you saying it? So my tonality, all right, certain words that I'm emphasizing, if I'm getting quieter, all right, it's a scarcity tonality. All of a sudden you're kind of leaning in. You're like, what is he saying now? It seems like it's more important. If I speed up my communication, if I talk with impact, if I pause, all right, how you say things. All right, I'm sure if you've gone through any sales training, like this is a huge thing that they talk about is tonality. All right, and how if you ask questions just the wrong way, you're going to offend prospects or, make them feel, the wrong way about something. You don't want that. So tonality, how you say things. And the most influential thing by far is who is talking. All right, who is talking? This is the most influential thing by far. I'll show you an example of this. So let's say your uncle, who I'm going to assume your uncle is not some, stock guru who has millions and billions of dollars, made in the stock market. Let's say he tells you to buy Amazon stock. He's like, yo, Amazon stock, like, I promise, like this thing's about to boom up. They got their earnings call coming up. It's going to go good. I know. Versus Warren Buffett. If Warren Buffett, like one-on-one, you're sitting down with him, I don't know, in a coffee shop or something, and he's like, oh, by the way, like Amazon, it's a good move right now for this Q4. You better get in. I bet you're about to find a way to get into Amazon. It's Warren Buffett. All right, it's Warren Buffett. Now, isn't that interesting? Or they could say the exact same words. Like they could say the exact same thing word for word, but if it's just a different person, the level of impact, level of influence changes dramatically. All right, if Elon Musk sends you a DM, it doesn't matter what he says. He can say hi, he can say, hey, I'm on the toilet. He can say anything. You're going to answer just because of the who. That is the first thing that you need to understand is the influence pyramid. All right, this right here is why with all my clients I work with one-on-one, we have a big section on your branding. Make sure you turn your branding into, an overnight authority, what we call it. All right, when people come across our profile, we want to elevate that who as high as humanly possible. Because if we don't, like most people have very kindergarten, like lazy, or just like they just don't realize the power in branding in your profile here. And so when someone new comes across your profile, it's like, oh, okay, like maybe he's not really an authority, but he seems like a cool guy. I guess I'll follow him. So with that, like, think of the difference in this. If someone comes across this and they see me as an authority, all of a sudden every single tweet that I tweet out is more impactful. It's more influential because of the who. Or this is a one-time thing that you can do to make everything more influential. Or if you do this wrong, everything's going to be less influential. That's the power in this. All right, that's why this is so important. And that's only one example. There's many different ways that you can use this. Another example is a pre-call priming video. Another thing that we do with all of our clients. So before someone hops on, a call with us, I send them a pre-call priming video, basically a video, showing my expertise, credibility, case studies, etc., raising that who right here, and that's what we want. So this is the first psychological weapon right here, the influence pyramid, and I promise you, we get a lot juicier than this. This is just the start. Number 2, this one is a big one, and some people don't know this stuff. Please use this. This stuff is powerful. Number 2, certainty. So the number one easiest and very powerful persuasion hack that you can use literally right now, this second, is certainty. I'll give you an example of this. So crosswalk example. There was this experiment done where there was a crowded crosswalk and a large group of pedestrians waiting to cross the street, right? And in scenario 1, they had this man edge out on the street. He's kind of bobbing his head, looking back and forth, seeming very cautious, uncertain, and he's seeing if cars are coming. All right, he moved slowly and with extreme caution to cross the street. Eventually, he began crossing the street. None of the pedestrians followed him. All right, the walking sign was not on. He was just crossing the street, and he was very cautious about it. In scenario 2, they had this man simply start crossing the street with no hesitation. He walked swiftly and confidently, and a few pedestrians began to follow, then a few more, and then the whole group began to follow in his footsteps. You've probably seen this play out in real life. So what's going on here? All right, the takeaway here is certainty is the authority hack. All right, it's the persuasion hack. Make certainty your default tonality. Make certainty your default in everything that you do. Obviously, you don't have to be certain if you're not certain, legitimately in a life scenario. But in your business, you should be certain. You are the expert. You run your business. You help your clients achieve X, Y, Z. That's what you do. So you should be certain in your communication, in your marketing, in your content, on the sales calls. Everything that you do should be freaking certain. All right? Because certainty is one of the heuristics that people use of, hey, should I trust what this guy's saying or not? All right. If you've ever had your friend, let's say you're deciding where you're going out to eat, and you're you've thrown out a few ideas. This restaurant, I don't know. And then your one friend's like, yo, wait a minute. We need to go to so-and-so. This is the place to be. The trip. I went there the other week, and I was mind blowing. It is so good. Their wings there. Oh my gosh. We had to go. And they're extremely certain about it because they've just experienced it, and they think the food is really good there. And so when they say, all right, I'm in, sounds good to me, purely because of certainty. If he brought up the idea we could go to this place. I mean, yeah, I think it was good. Very uncertain. You're probably not going to go there. But certainty tonality. All right, make certainty your default tonality when you're speaking, and then certainty with everything that you do. All right, in your content, in your client communication, that's huge. All right, if you want your clients to get better results, literally just communicate certainly, and they'll trust you more. They'll execute more. They'll take more action because they trust you. That's number 2. The thing that you can literally do this second to transform your influence. So do that. That's number 2. Number 3, stories over facts. So here's the deal. Stories entertain and facts bore. So I tell this story a lot, and it illustrates a very good example of what a story should look like. So when I first started my first coaching business, I made $0 for the first 16 months. All right, it was bad. I was doing DoorDash, delivering food at night. I was washing dishes. I was doing odd jobs. I was doing moving jobs, picking up trash, doing a lot of stuff just to survive and pay bills. And I remember my uncle made this comment of, that's not a business. That's just a hobby. And that comment stuck in my heart. It was painful. It was freaking painful because it was true. I wasn't making any money. And so he gives me this hard truth. And with that, I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. I'm I need to make this work. This is the only option. And so I go, and what I do is I take really all the money I have and I invest in this mentor, this internet guru. I hope it works. I'm unsure, but I'm screw it. And it ends up working out well. Within 9 months, I have this 6-figure online business. I experienced freedom for the first time. My life is transformed. All right, that's an example of an epiphany story right there. And notice how you were probably entertained during that story. If I just spewed you facts. 74% of people, when you tell a story, are more engaged. And it's kind of interesting, but stories keep people very engaged. So anyways, back to the point here. So that was an epiphany story. And basically what that is, it's a story you can use to build key beliefs. So the belief in that story was, hey, I sucked at business for a long time. And then what happened was I invested in a mentor and my business blew up. So the kind of epiphany belief, the epiphany moment is, hey, I can't do it all myself. I should invest in skill sets. I should invest in mentors and business education. That's how you skill up. So that's what you can do to build a key belief is you tell a story. All right. So when you do this, the reader or the listener is more likely to come to the same aha moment as you telling your story. All right. So you can use this to build belief in your own unique mechanism or to kill objections of, like fitness coach example. Oh, well, I was trying to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. And I was eating my chicken and broccoli and it sucked. I was so miserable and I would binge eat. But then I discovered I could use, flexible dieting. And all of a sudden I was eating ice cream, with my friends this one night and I was still losing weight. Boom, epiphany moment. All right, to kill an objection. All right, so that's examples of epiphany stories. The other story that you want to use is your hero story. So the hero story is your transformation story, your before to your after, your rags to riches story. All right, so this is huge for building connection and getting people to like and trust you. Because it's kind of showing them, hey, I was, where you are right now. I was struggling just like you right now. So definitely use this. I usually use this in like your pinned post on your profile. And the basic framework you can use for this story and really any story is these like big 4 steps. So 1, introduce protagonist. So this is you. So kind of introduce yourself, background, like what is going on. Then you share your hopes and dreams. I'm trying to achieve X, Y, Z. And then boom, the conflict happens and you make life as miserable as possible. Boo-hoo. And then number 4, you overcome and succeed. All right. And big thing with stories is you can repeat stories over and over and over again, especially your hero story, because it's like your big, hero story. It's a thing that people really connect with you on. And it's what people know you for. So repeat it over and over again. You don't, like people, either like new followers, they won't know your story, or people will even forget it. You can tell more details about it. And it just helps it stick of, when I think of this person, I think of their story. That's powerful. All right, so that's number 3, to really maintain, keep attention, to help influence people. Number 4, building beliefs. So this is kind of similar, but we'll hit on this. So if you want to get someone to take a certain action, you just need to get them to hold certain beliefs. All right, understand, like have this glass breaking moment. Marketing, the best marketers, all they do is they shape shift beliefs. They change your beliefs. If you believe a certain thing, you will buy. That is the fact. At the end of the day, if you believe XYZ will help you solve and get this solution, you will buy it. All right, it's a matter of belief. So, example here, if I believe muscle confusion is the key to build muscle, I'm not saying it is, but if I believe that, I'm buying P90X. All right, that's their big unique mechanism that they sold. All right, P90X they came out with this new unique mechanism. Oh, it's muscle confusion. This is how you build muscle, blah, blah, blah. This is an example of a domino belief. If someone believes this, they will buy P90X. All right, so think for you, like what is the one key belief, the one domino belief that if your audience, if your followers believe this one thing, they must buy from you? All right, Russell Brunson talks about this a lot. And this is typically shaped around your unique mechanism, like what is your secret sauce, what makes you different from everyone else. That's usually the key thing you want to hone in on here. Other key beliefs that you do want to build, there's nothing stopping them from taking action. So this is like killing objections. So any objections that are common that come up on your sales calls, you can kill those beforehand in your content. That's what I call persuasion content. That's what I do with all my clients. Number 2, your product is the best product. So this is killing alternatives. Why is your solution superior to all other solutions in the marketplace? Why should they choose you? And then the last 2 here, the massive benefits of your opportunity. So what are the massive benefits that they get as a result of going on your opportunity? What are the massive losses they miss out from not going with your opportunity? So really how you build these key beliefs is stories. So that's huge here. And what's doing what is next on this list. So number 5 is repetition. This is powerful. This is secretly this is one of the secrets of the world right here, repetition. So what is repeated is remembered, even if it's not true. What is repeated is remembered, even if it's not true. So think about mainstream media and how they can brainwash the masses simply by repeating an idea. Or they can repeat something over and over and over again and just run it 24/7 on all these channels, and then it becomes fact. It becomes reality simply because the idea was repeated over and over and over again, even if it's completely false. So This is obviously a tool that can be used for good or for bad. All right, some people use it for bad. We're going to use it for good, of course. So you can use repetition to build key beliefs in your audience. All right, kill the limiting beliefs that they have that's stopping them from taking action, from becoming their best self. But use repetition to build these key beliefs. All right, you can do this with stories, telling stories over and over again, or just talking about a certain idea over and over and over again with different stories. All right, the more you repeat an idea, the more effective it'll become. All right, what is repeated is remembered. That's number 5. Number 6, proof is king. Today, people see hundreds or even thousands of ads every single day. So that means people's BS detectors are at all-time highs. They're way up here, like for real. So how do you stand out? How do you stand out in this world in 2023 or 2024, whenever you're watching this? What you want to do is really stop making claims. All right, so everyone makes claims. Everyone makes promises. For example, they'll say, I pinky promise you you'll lose 20 pounds. Just trust me, please, I promise. Don't do this. Or instead, just start sharing proof. Bobby here just lost 20 pounds in my program. Want to do the same? So this is way more powerful. All right, we're not making a claim here. We're just sharing facts. We are literally sharing a fact, a documented fact. Bobby here, you can see the transformation, photos, weight loss graph, boom, boom, boom. Do you want similar results? Is that cool with you? Proof. All right, proof is king. The more powerful proof that you have, the more people will trust you. All right, the reason for this is this saying one of my mentors told me, and it has stuck with me. I've repeated it to myself a lot, so I remember it. But people resist what they're told, but they never doubt what they themselves conclude. People resist what they're told, but they never doubt what they themselves conclude. So what that means is if you tell someone something, like you pinky promise they're going to lose 20 pounds, they usually resist that. Or there's resistance when someone's trying to kind of put an idea on you. But if they just share a story or share some facts, and then you come to the conclusion yourself, okay, I saw this guy lose 20 pounds. I saw another guy see success with this. I saw another guy right here. This program probably works. It probably helped me lose 20 pounds. Coming to the conclusion myself. All of a sudden, I'm bought in. I don't lose that idea once I come to the conclusion myself. All right, that is powerful. So proof is king. So application of this, share as much proof as possible. All right, you have to have your proof just plastered everywhere on your timeline, in your highlights, on your highlighted story on Instagram, ever possible. Embed proof, put proof everywhere. All right, make it undeniable that you actually deliver on what you do. That's number 6. Number 7, the attention rule. So Daniel Kahneman, hopefully, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but Daniel, a Nobel Prize winner, he wrote this 446-page book in very, very tiny font. It was called Thinking Fast and Slow, which I did read in full. All right, this big book. It's kind of difficult to read, but here's a big idea. All right, I'll give you it in a few seconds here. So when you're thinking about something, the importance of that thing is massively amplified. All right, so applying this to persuasion, what does this really mean? If you can get someone to consciously focus and think about the massive benefits of your opportunity, or think about the massive pain from not doing your opportunity, the importance of both those things can skyrocket in that moment. All right, thus they're more likely to buy. So the attention rule. So how do you do this? Ask questions to direct their focus. So examples of this. What might happen if you don't solve this big problem? Where will you be 5, 10, 20 years from now? Imagine for a second you do achieve XYZ dream. What would your life look like then? All right, these are directing your focus. That's what we do with asking questions, especially on sales calls. You can also do this through content. Really focus your content on the massive benefits. Really focus your content on the massive pain of not doing your opportunity. All right, when you do this over and over and over again, it directs people's focus in an area, and whenever you think about something, just the importance of that is skyrocketed. All right. I'll give you one more example of this. If you've gone through some breakup, for the initial few weeks, especially after it, you're probably thinking about this person that you broke with at the highest level, more than ever. Their importance is skyrocketing in your brain. You're like, oh, I miss them. Oh, should I call them? Should I get back with them? You're thinking about them all the time. Or their importance is skyrocketed. But then, a few months pass, you don't think about them as much. You're like, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care. All right, what you think about, the importance of it is amplified more than it really is. That's the big idea here, the attention rule. Number 8, overnight trust. Have you ever met someone and y'all like hit it off instantly? It's been like 5 minutes, but you already like you trust this guy. You're like, oh yeah, I trust this guy. He seems like a good guy. Typically, this is because of shared values. You see the world in a similar light. So values are the quickest way to build trust. All right, values are the quickest way to build trust. With this in mind, I recommend you share your values and your beliefs in your content and your marketing. You will attract your tribe, and your tribe will trust you significantly more. Or this is why, politicians, for example, like people like ride or die with politicians. Like they're like in love with them. They'll support them through thick and thin, and they're like hardcore supporters. Like this is because like politics are usually talk about values and worldviews a lot, and so that's values. Right? When there's a mismatch on values, you hate this person. You don't necessarily hate them, but you don't trust them. All right. If there's a match, you trust them a lot more. All right, so that's one example right there. So share your beliefs, share your values in your marketing. You don't have to get like deep into politics or religion if you don't want to. You can if you want. That's only gonna be more powerful. It's up to you. But share some sort of values and beliefs because this is gonna build that deeper trust with your audience. So that's number 8. And then number 9. All right, we're almost there. We have 11 total. Share selfish motives. So example of this, someone messaged me the other day to set up a consultation. And I told him my goal was to make him lots of money so he can afford my flagship program. He chuckled to this, and he says, sounds good to me. So like what I did here, like I'm literally just being honest. Like I'm being brutally transparent and saying the thing I'm quote, not supposed to say. And doing this built 100 times more trust. I literally just told him the truth. Yeah, like my goal here, like I'm trying to make you a lot of money, and that way you can, afford my flagship program and pay me more money. Sound good? And this is like, it's like what I'm doing here is like sharing a really, really believable reason why I'm trying to, help him with this consultation. And the thing is, like, people are not stupid. Like, even though like people seem crazy nowadays, on a real level, like they're not really that stupid. Most people, they know you have selfish motives, and it's okay to, and even good to share them. Like you run a business, you're here to make money. Like period. Like you want your bank account to go up. Like they know this. Like don't try and hide this fact. I'm like, oh, like I'm only in it to make impact. Like that's cool. Like you can be in it for that, but like let's be real. Like you need money too. Like when you share these selfish motives, it just builds a lot of trust. So I'll share. Let me see here. Yeah, I'll share one more example of this. This is kind of a related thing. I'll give you a bonus here. So this is kind of like disarming honesty as well. So an example of this is if you're at a restaurant. And let's say the waiter, you ask him like, well, I'm thinking of this one and this one. Like, what's your opinion? Like, which one of these is better? And he's like, the pepperoni pizza here, it's not that good. I want to get that. And you're like, oh shoot, all right, appreciate that. So, what do you recommend? And he says, oh, you should definitely get this. You trust this guy. Like he just told you like something he's not really supposed to tell you. Like he works at this restaurant, but he told you this food, like you shouldn't order that. It's not that good. So you trust this guy way more. Or this example of disarming honesty. When you tell them the bad thing, people trust you way more. All right, especially when you work in sales or anything like that. They expect you to just like, say everything is amazing and just sell you hard. But when you say the bad things, you're just way more trustworthy. So big thing here, big picture is like be brutally honest. Or share your selfish motives and then do disarming honesty. So anything that's bad about it, like you can just share that and be upfront. And that builds way more trust. Number 10, us versus them. So great case study of this is Andrew Tate and his marketing. If you're familiar with his content, he talks about the matrix all the time. So basically the matrix is like these big wigs in charge of the world that are evil. Something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but it doesn't really matter. Point is Andrew created this very powerful us versus them dynamic with his audience. So right now, like what he's done is his followers and him have this shared enemy. All right, the Matrix. Screw the Matrix. All right, the Matrix is trying to, do X, Y, Z. This is powerful. All right, when there's an us versus them, it creates this team dynamic. All right, think of when you played sports. You had this team, and you probably hated the other team's guts, or you were playing. At least I did when I was growing up. They were the enemy. All right, if you can do this with your content, your marketing, it creates like this very big picture, kind of more powerful of a movement. Or you're not just some person who's creating content and running a business. You create this movement when you create an us versus them dynamic. So think of like, who is the enemy? Who is like maybe the alternative solution in your space that really they have a bad solution. You have a way better solution. You can make them the enemy and have this us versus them dynamic. It's very powerful. All right. People really buy into this stuff. And the last thing here, number 11, is labeling. So this is powerful. So example of this, my fiance whispers some sweet nothings in my ear, tell me how proud she is of me, how she admires me. And I call her the kindest girl I've ever met. This is true. And it's a cute love story, right? It's cute. But wait, something happened here. So I labeled her the kindest girl I've ever met. And this is a positive label, one that she would love to remain consistent with, right? You know, who wouldn't? When you place a positive label on someone, they love it. They're like, thanks, like awesome. And they want to be consistent with it. Right? This is one of the greatest human needs, is to remain consistent with good positive labels. So psychologically, she's more likely to do things that I would see as kind. And she wants to remain consistent with this positive label. So do this in your sales conversations with your clients everywhere. Big caveat here is obviously like it must be real. Like you can't call your prospect someone who seems very committed to this when they just said, I don't really care at all. Like it doesn't make sense. Like it has to be real and in the moment. But when you do, just like place a positive label on them, they're more likely to be consistent with that label. This is labeling. This is powerful. And that is number 11. And this is truly the 11 psychological weapons you can use to sign more clients, be more influential, be more persuasive, and influence humans. So I hope this masterclass was helpful. If you liked it, subscribe to my channel. I'm sure you'll find some more content on how you can sign more clients for your business. But that's it for today. If you are a coach and you want to add 10K to 30K a month, a new revenue to your business, click the link below and we can chat one-on-one to talk about scaling. All right, that's it. I will see you in the next one. Peace.